Hi, I'm Kavati Sridhar, working as assistant professor in EC department at Mlritm, Dundigal. Today, I'm discussing about one of the topic of antenna and wave propagation, that is parameters. In the parameters, we have more than 10 parameters, but today's session we are discussing about the three parameters, that is radiation pattern and directivity and radiation resistance and efficiency. And in the previous session we are discussed about the what is the antenna and what is the radiator, how the radiation is occurs and what are the elements supposed to the radiation, and this is the free electrical charges are the sources of electromagnetic wave. So we discussed about the sources of radiation and what are the conditions that happens in the radiation, that means antenna shapes and antenna types and frequency types. Now we are discussing about these three parameters. First one is a radiation parameter, the radiation pattern. The radiation pattern, first parameter is radiation pattern. The radiation pattern of antenna is a plot of the far field radiation from the antenna. It is a plot of the far field radiation of the antenna. First of all, we need to discuss about the what is far field and what is near field. The radiation field nearer to the antenna is nothing but the near field. The radiation field far to the antenna is nothing but the far field. So here we are calculating the radiation pattern of antenna is a plot of the far field radiation from the antenna. Far field means the field which is far to the antenna, where we are calculating the radiation pattern. So here the plot of power radiation from the antenna is per unit solid angle. So here what we calculate is, first we need to calculate the radiation intensity and the distance between them, so that we can state that what is the power density, that is what is the radiation intensity using the power density. Here there is a formula that the radiation intensity U is equal to R square, that means the distance between radiator and the far field point into radiation intensity. So here the radiation pattern of antenna is a plot of the far field radiation from the antenna. The radiation resistance is generally measured towards the far field of the antenna. That means the field is far to the antenna is nothing but the far field. The field is nearer to the antenna is nothing but the near field. Now we are calculate this radiation pattern at the far field of the antenna. So here especially it is a plot of power radiation from an antenna per unit solid angle. Generally power radiation is calculated in terms of the unit per solid angle or its radiation intensity. This radiation intensity is denoted by U, and it is simply calculated that the radiation intensity U is equals the multiplication of radiation power density into square of its distance between the point and the radiator. This is about the radiation intensity, where we know the power density and distance between them. This is the formula of radiation intensity, that is R square into S. And the next one is directivity. This directivity we can measure when radiation intensity is calculated. The ratio of radiation intensity in the given direction. In the propagate direction, we will get the radiation intensity. Then we can calculate the directivity. The ratio of radiation intensity in a given direction from the antenna to the radiation intensity, its average value. That means radiation intensity to its radiation intensity average value, we can get the directivity. This is another basic parameter of the antenna. The next one is radiation resistance and efficiency. The radiation, already I told that the radiation is towards the desired direction where in the far field direction. So here the radiation resistance can be calculated by the power dissipation in the desired direction. Actually, the any element it is having the two resistive properties. One is radiation resistance and another is radiation loss. The radiation loss is calculated in the desired direction when the maximum radiation is propagated, and radiation loss, the mistakes by the antenna itself, we can calculate it as a radiation loss. Now radiation efficiency, if we know the power radiation, the radiation efficiency of antenna E is ratio of power radiated to the power accepted by the antenna. That means the efficiency is calculated when the radiation in the transmitting side, then the radiation when it is act as a transmitting side, the radiation towards the desired direction, and the radiation accepting when it is the receiving side, we are calculated the efficiency. That means radiation towards the transmission side by radiation whenever it acts as a receiver side. That means radiated by received, we can calculate as the efficiency of this antenna. The next one, we can compare gain and directivity. Already we discussed about the directivity. What is the directivity? So here G is directly proportional to the D directivity, where G is equal to K into D. Here K is the efficiency of the antenna. Here K is nothing but the, when we know radiation resistance by radiation resistance plus R loss. Already I discussed about the how the element is resistive nature. That means one is radiation resistance and is radiation loss. When we know these two both, we can calculate the efficiency of the antenna. That is radiation resistance by radiation resistance plus radiation loss. If we know the power radiation, that means K is equal to power radiation by power radiation loss. So when if we know radiation resistance and radiation loss, or power radiation or power loss, we can calculate this efficiency, where we can calculate G is equal to K into D. If we know the K values and D values, we can automatically know the G. Otherwise, we can calculate it in other way. This gain will be explained in the next session. Thank you.